Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, liberating and life. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo! Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/radyo-katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at radyo-katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at radyo-katipunan FM for more exclusive content. Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan, news, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan, down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan, the voice of the Blue Eagle. Radyo Katipunan, news, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan, down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan, the voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
Jescom Music Ministry, music that uplifts the soul. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/radyo-katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content. Lead X. X is for the extracurricular life of the Ateneo College students. X is for the X factor that transforms them into leaders, into men and women for others. X is for Lead X. Lead X.
Down from the hill.
Cut! Good take! Want to hear our take on all your favorite filmy things? Tune in to Clapback, the radio show for film critics, production news, pop culture, and social commentary. Serving as a place for our voice in our cinematic universe. Hosted by the Loyola Film Circle, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Action!
To listen to music that uplifts the soul,
Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. All caps, mga Atinista, it's time to level up. Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Good morning, Ateneo. Start your day right with your morning wake-up call. Good morning, Ateneo. Energize your day with the lively, funny, and lovely tandem of Mir de los Santos and Tats Kiblat. Catch the latest news and stories around the campus. Good morning, Ateneo. Your daily dose of radio chikahan, tawanan, kantahan, and kwentuhan. Every morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Tuesdays to Fridays. Good morning, Ateneo. Your mornings will never be the same again. Join Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as he delivers to us the preachings of the Sunday's Gospel that's awe-inspiring, yet easy to understand and appreciate. Let us all listen to the Word of God here on The Word Exposed on Air, only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle ng Manila, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Cali Llamado ng Manila Cathedral, at Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Kapit Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Wind Hover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Wind Hover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Voice of W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Voice of W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan.
Welcome to The Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Alright, what is up, Pinoy NFL fans? Saan man sa mundo? Lax, global na daw tayo. Anyway, binabati lang namin on this Wednesday afternoon. Lalo na yung mga natin, loyal listeners from the Wolves Football Club. Of course, thank you always for joining us here on radyo-katipunan Sports. Tailgate Tropa reunion tayo ngayon, sports fans, because it's time again for our special segment here on radyo-katipunan Sports, where we cover anything and everything NFL. And of course, joining me as always, SS Steven Silva and Coach Hammer, Tito Martz, Martin Antonio. Guys, bukas na bukas. Wait, hindi, teka lang. April 30 pala. April 30. Masyado akong excited.
Sa atin, Friday morning, 8 a.m.
Yes. Tama si Steven. Friday morning, 8 a.m., the next superstars of the gridiron will hashtag take the stage at the 2021 NFL Draft, April 29 to May 1st. So, 3 days yan sa Cleveland, Ohio. Steven, before we continue our first NFL draft preview, nakasama si Coach H. I remember last year, it took us 3 days to do this thing kasi nag-ano kami, lahat ng offensive prospects, lahat ng defensive prospects. Nag-review pa kami ni Steven. Coach H, that's not the way to do it. Okay, so today, happy kami to just do it in one sitting lang. Tama na yun.
I felt like I was in college. Parang nag-review kami for exams for final exam.
Yung bigayon, pagkagayon. What drafting players, my belief is, if it's your gut feel and you did your homework, parang it's there's no foolproof plan when drafting talent. You just need to build a culture that would put them in hand.
True and true. Pero kami ni Steven, para kami nag-NFL Network na nun.
Hindi kasi yung NFL fantasy draft Yun yung ginawa yung dalawa with the actual draft.
Actually, this is the first time I've ever done that. But I actually enjoyed, and kasama yun kasi when you watch the draft, if you do research, you have a connection with the players. You understand their stories. You understand where they came from. And I find that the draft is more enjoyable. The more that you know about these players, you can establish the connections. And you can also find out which teams would be better drafting them. That's how I saw it as.
Yeah. Okay, so Coach H, Steven, so before we channel our inner Kevin Costner and select our Vontae Mac.
No matter what!
And then, ano lang, parang for me, it's a relief, no? Kasi the draft experience, as we knew it, is sort of, it's back already kasi, okay, it's not like yung mob sa Nashville, Tennessee, 2018, 2019, diba? Na ang daming tao sa street or street parties going on. Pero, like, Steven, just as a fan, diba, knowing na, hey, there's going to be, parang there's this NFL draft theater set up and, there's still mask wearing, there's still social distancing, pero at least the festivity of the draft is there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is a step forward or a step towards normalcy again. You know, we're not going to be seeing Roger Goodell in his basement. We're not going to see all these coaches in their basements, because of the protocols. We're starting to get back to normal. I think the protocols that they're going to do for the actual draft is they're going to have a section of people who have been vaccinated. They can be closer to the stage, and then the rest of the other people watching, they're going to have to be socially distanced. But I think it's going to be a different element, just having a live audience reacting to the picks. Of course, there's going to be a lot of booing, as usual. But there's going to be a lot of cheering, and it's going to add to the excitement. I liked watching the draft last year with the whole digital format, but let's not kid ourselves. It's different hearing the audience and feeling the energy, because teams, their futures are being built right now with these draft picks. They could be built or they could be crumbling. We don't know. We're going to find out, but the excitement is going to be there.
All right, so si Coach H ready na, hydrated na siya. We're gonna separate the Bo Callahans from the Vontae Macs, Sonny Weaver style.
I love the references.
We're gonna go over the biggest prospects for some big debate. So, format of the show, we're not gonna do the position by position previews anymore. We got some questions, the overarching questions of the draft, and we'll see how. Where our pseudo debate goes. Okay, anyway, question number 1. Guys, first and second pick, it seems to be set in stone already. Trevor Lawrence has the playbook that Urban Meyer Lala moved to his house. I don't know where. Zach Wilson is ready to suit up for another LaFleur brother over in New York. Okay, pero here, Coach H, if you remember the scene the draft day, Anthony Molina, the Browns owner, played by Frank Langella, he tells Sonny Weaver, Sonny, make a splash in the draft. I need a marquee name. Both Urban Meyer and Robert Saleh, let's play choose your own adventure, ha? You're a GM of a team who badly needs a marquee QB. this is a history-changing decision for your franchise. Who's your QB of the future?
I am not taking Zach Wilson. Very basic. I'm not a believer. Too small. Played. He is 6'1", I believe. You could showcase everything. Pwede ka magpakita ng gilas when there are no pads, when there are no 6'8", 6'5" guys running after to take your head off. It's simple as that. I need to see more production from him. I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. He is a gamer. It is a foregone conclusion. Hopefully, the Jacksonville Jaguars can build an offensive line to protect him. He is the best, arguably the best prospect coming out of college since Andrew Luck. So, with that being said, completos ricatos ng mamang to. He is marketable. He has a cannon of an arm, legs and runs. He has the legs. He could run like a gazelle. Made for box office. But on the number 2 pick, it would be interesting. I want to be on Robert Saleh's side, and I want to see how they debate. If Zach Wilson is really the guy that they want, or is it Justin Fields, who everybody played for, of course, from the Ohio State University. It might sound as a homer pick, but if you could take a hit from Skalski, who got ejected in 2 of the biggest games of his career for 30 hits, helmet-to-helmet hits, and still perform at a high level. I mean, I don't know what else you need from all these guys.
So Trevor Lawrence it is for Big Papa. Steven, Trevor Mania or the guy who we both fell in love with on his pro day?
You watch too much highlights, both of you.
No, the pro days, the highlights, of course. It's fun to watch. These are, like Coach said, there's no one running after them. There's no defense to compete with. So it doesn't really matter. It's what you see on the tape, what they played, what they put on the tape when they were playing the actual games. I think the number 1 pick, of course, has been settled since December of last year when
he enrolled in Clemson.
When the Jaguars got the first pick, it was already set. I think Trevor Lawrence has been the number 1 pick for the past 2 seasons. It's just a matter of when he was going to come out. He's been doing it since high school. He's like one of the top prospects. He broke Deshaun Watson's high school passing yards record as a high school guy. Number 1 recruit, goes to Clemson. He starts as a true freshman. The only worry I have for Lawrence is what's going to happen when he goes to the Jaguars and he loses more games in a couple of weeks than he's lost in the last 4 to 5 years. I think since high school, he's like 67-4. Mm-hmm. So he's only lost 4 games since high school. And then you go to the Jaguars and you start out like 0-5, 1-6, 2-7. How is he going to be able to handle that and adjust? That's the thing for me, because going to Clemson in high school, I'm assuming he had some of the best players around him. You go to the Jaguars, who are you going to be passing it to? Who are you going to be handing it off to? You know, you have this barren roster that's going to need talent, which of course the Jaguars are going to do. They have a lot of picks in this draft. So we'll see what happens there. And it's all about his resiliency, how he reacts to being punched in the face, because he's going to be getting hit a lot. He's not going to have the best players around him. And moving over to Zach Wilson, I'm kind of with Coach Hammer. I saw the pro days. I was excited. But I feel like Zach Wilson is the biggest either boom or bust. For me, I don't think there's any in between. He's not going to be a decent player. He's either going to be this, a lot of people want to see him as possibly the next Patrick Mahomes, or he's going to be a guy that just is out of the league in 2 to 3 years. Because I see the frame, you know, he's not this guy maybe that can take big hits. And the production is also weird for me. If you look at the production, 2018, 2019, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 2019, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And then 2020, all of a sudden, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You know, and you look at the players the teams that he's playing, like Coach said, the competition. He's playing against Navy. He's playing against Texas State, Western Kentucky, North Alabama. You know, you talk about Trevor Lawrence, he's playing against the Ohio States. He's playing against South Carolina, LSU. So it's a big question mark. If I were the New York Jets, I would have a tough decision on my hands, because I also like Justin Fields a lot. I wouldn't be scared to say that he's the second best quarterback in this draft. Zach Wilson, I feel like he's the hottest prospect, because I think I saw a report last season before this previous season. He was around the 20th to 15th quarterback in the nation, and all of a sudden he's number 2. I don't know. For me and Robert Saleh, they have a big decision to make if they go with Zach Wilson. And also, it depends on who they surround him with.
True. But just to close this, our first question, no. I do love Trevor Lawrence's the size, the mobility, 6'6", can look over the top of the defense. But my only thing is, you can get too enamored by size sometimes because he has some accuracy concerns. Whereas, okay, I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is a bad pick. No, he slam dunk number 1. Go ahead, best quarterback in the draft. But for me, just by eye candy alone, the best thrower, the best passer of the draft has to be Zach Wilson. I mean, you saw it, sidearm, off angle, on the run, no problem. It's accurate. But the only thing with Zach Wilson is he sort of plays better when he's under duress because he's so confident in his arm ability, diba? Kaya ko naman sidearm, kaya ko naman fade away, diba? Pero I guess he just has to be... okay, whatever. But he has to be more disciplined.
I disagree. No, I saw some stats here. The thing about Wilson is he benefited from an elite offensive line.
Number 1 offensive line. The number 1 offensive line in the country.
Number 1 offensive line. And then the stats here from PFF, 96.5 PFF grade from a clean pocket. It drops down to 74.1 when he's under pressure. So... But I agree also. They say he has one of the best arms, if not the best arm. He can throw it from any angle. But it looks like he's going to have to do that because he's going to be under a lot of pressure in New York.
Even Patrick Mahomes can't throw when his back is on the field. I'll tell you that much. If they can protect him,
yes,
he won't be able to throw those fancy balls. If he is moving right to left, as what we've seen in the Super Bowl, Tampa threw 3 guys at Patrick Mahomes. He ran more yardage laterally than vertically for the whole team.
Grabe yun.
All right, so
that's such a crazy stat.
It is. So okay, first 2 quarterbacks on the public's big board. You know that's still up for debate. But okay, tier 2 now of quarterbacks. This is where the controversy and the other stories begin to surface. So, Steven, I know as Niners fans, ang dami nating feels dito. We're gonna go through all the emotions just talking about these 3 guys. But okay, regardless of your reason, Tito Mart's Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, who doesn't belong? Who's your odd man out?
Odd man out would be Trey Lance. I mean, for me, the guy is too raw. Haven't faced elite competition. I have this debate with Luke, my friend. He's so enamored with this guy. I mean, mahirap ako ma-impress in any sport. You should have production. You should have the pedigree, and you should have the physical capability to perform at that level. With that being said, those 3. If you want to check all the boxes, only one prospect is the logical choice. He has the highest upside, highest floor on these 3 guys. All right? You want the sure thing, get Mac Jones. If you want the superstar pick, you get Justin Fields. If you want to go the Mitchell Trubisky route, you have the other QB.
Trey Lance. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So I don't want to even name him. Because there are so many stats that they throw, advanced stats and all that. But when push comes to shove, when it's time to put on the pads and throw, we haven't seen enough production. And this is the question to most of these guys. Coming out with 1 year of production, I would want the sure thing that has a higher upside between the 2.
But the thing though, and I don't know, Steven is kind of going to agree with me on this, no? My odd man out, okay, just because I don't want him to be the number 3 pick, has to be Mac Jones. Okay, kasi Steven, the Niners, I think they sort of saw it na at number 12, there's a good chance Mac Jones will still be available. But if you trade up to number 3, that's the area for transcendent talent na eh. Diba? You don't give away X number amount of picks for a guy who is sure, but you don't know if his ceiling is capped off at that level. But when you take a guy at number 3, you want a superstar, and I don't think Kyle Shanahan from 2017 is looking like this. Parang, I just need a guy who can execute whatever I diagram on my clipboard. That's it. 2021, Kyle Shanahan is saying, well, I've tried that before. It didn't work. But now I need some guy with supreme talent at the QB position. And it's not going to be Mac Jones, Steven.
Well, we'll see. Kyle Shanahan is a very stubborn person. You can see it in the interviews. You can see just the way he tries to make things work because he has this undying belief in his system. I just hope that he's also someone that can admit when he's wrong. He can learn from his mistakes. I'm going to throw the name out. I think actually to rearrange this list, Justin Fields should actually be in tier 1. You can leave Mac Jones and Trey Lance in tier 2. I actually kind of agree with Coach Chammer. You could actually even drop Trey Lance into tier 3 because I agree the production, again, he's not even playing, I think, in an FBS league. He's playing in, he's not playing against, Division 1 competition or something like that. You can fact check me on that. But going back to Mac Jones, my only logic with this is exactly what Anthony has said. If you're picking at 12, 15, 16, 18, you're getting a solid starter, hopefully a Pro Bowl player. If you're picking at 1, 2, or 3, you're picking at the cream of the crop. You're going for a guy that has elite traits. It jumps off the tape. It's almost a sure thing. If you see Mac Jones, you don't see that. And the thing with Mac Jones too, yes, he has good production. He has the accuracy, the ability is there. But it's not that difficult when you have first-round wide receivers up and down the board. You have, the great offensive linemen, running backs by your side. And when you compare him to these other quarterbacks on the list, he's clearly last when it comes to athleticism. And the NFL, is an evolving league where unless your name is Tom Brady, you cannot be a statue behind the offensive line just picking and dunking. You have to be able to move. And I think that's one thing of all these other players when you talk about Fields, Lance, Trevor Lawrence, even Zach Wilson. They can make plays. When there's no plays to be made in the field with the wide receivers, everyone's covered. They can make something happen. So that's my knock with Mac Jones. And the thing is, a lot of people, they're seeing him go as high as 3. They could see him drop all the way to the 20s. And if no one picks him up there, he could even drop to the second round. I feel like Mac Jones could be dropping like a lot of spots when it comes Friday morning.
True. But I want to throw a monkey wrench on the system, okay? So what is Kyle Shanahan known for? What is Kyle Shanahan known for?
Offensive schemes.
An offensive scheme.
Oh.
Who do you have on your squad as your quarterback? You have Jimmy Garoppolo and a developmental QB in Josh Rosen on the cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the best talent on, arguably, the best talent available at number 3? What if they traded away everything to get either Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, have Jimmy Garoppolo running Brandon Ayuk, a healthy Debo Samuel, George Kittle, and insert Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase on that offense with a developmental QB. And of course, you could still get Davis Mills down the road. They can nurse him to be healthy. That's me thinking as a guy. I have ammunition. I have Jimmy Garoppolo. He is on the cheap compared to other quarterbacks. I have Josh Rosen, who, 3 years ago was a top 10 pick. Definitely a top 10 pick. Has the talent, but has busted confidence. How many screenplays can they run with that, guys? I mean, that's a very physical team with the running backs too. Huh? Yun gusto kong makita if they take Kyle Pitts there. Diba? So, you're Niner fans. How would you react?
I would look. I don't think that's impossible. No, I totally do not put that out of the realm of them drafting Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase at number 3. My only problem with that is you traded 3 first rounders to do that.
Gave up for it.
Three first rounders for a wide receiver or a tight end. For me, it has to be a quarterback. It has to be because these are the guys you're paying 40, 45, maybe in a couple years $50 million a year.
You want to get them on the cheap. You want to get
them on the cheap now. Yeah, and I think that's also another thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, it's not the most expensive contract, but I think it is kind of handcuffing them. You're giving him $25 to $27 million a year, and he's not even playing. That's the problem with Jimmy G now, is he's becoming so injury prone.
Availability.
Start having, diba? Like that was the biggest talk for 49ers fans, is like, okay, sige, we have Jimmy G, but we need to get a backup. If you're talking so much about getting a backup quarterback, it probably means you don't have a starting quarterback.
True.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
so for me, it's not impossible, Coach. I just don't want to
Justin
trade.
Fields yan! Sure mo yan, Justin Fields yan!
Siyempre, agree ako dyan.
Pag ikaw kumuha ka ng kumuha ka ng isang, not to knock any league, kumuha ka ng isang player na naglalaro in a minor league. When it comes in a league which doesn't have elite competition. And then you have an option to get arguably a top 5 player in a final 4 squad, and he is the best player of their squad that lost the championship last season. Who will you get? I mean, it's not simple. It's not rocket science. It's not nitpicking. The guy has a strong arm. The guy can move. And they say na mabagal mag-process ng information. But when people are running after you, you would be more instinctive. And that's how I see it. Justin Fields to the Niners. And I would buy a jersey and wear it with you guys.
Coach, agree kami dyan. I super want Justin Fields. And you talked about the offensive system that Kyle Shanahan runs. Think of what it can do. How many more layers can be added when you have a quarterback that can do different things. He doesn't have to sit back there. The timing doesn't have to be perfect. The thing about Jimmy G is if everything starts falling apart, wala na. He's not going to scramble. He's not going to run 30 yards for a touchdown. So a lot of plays have been left on the field because of that. So we'll see. Again, medyo matigas ang ulo ni Kyle Shanahan, so we'll see where he goes.
Pero Steven, simple lang din, Coach H. If you heard Kyle Shanahan's press conference, he mentioned, I can't guarantee who's going to be alive on Sunday. I can't guarantee who's going to be on the roster. Translation, goodbye, Jimmy G.
Regarding, the question for that was, will Jimmy G be on the roster this coming season? The biggest
shove him
just
to the
slid
side.
away from that. Ducked away from that question.
Like Steven, you mentioned the troubles surrounding Jimmy G, and I think it's also kind of reflective of that of Mac Jones's. Because Mac Jones, okay, what's he being highlighted for? Oh, the guy makes the right reads. He's a quick decision maker. He can understand progressions. He makes up for underwhelming athleticism at the college level.
Yes.
But at the NFL level, how many times does he have to make the perfect decision at the perfect time, make the perfect throw when defenders are in your face, and you have no other recourse? If he doesn't make the perfect decision, voila, he doesn't have the athleticism to cover up. So again, Justin Fields, my comparison for him would be a mini Cam Newton. The physique is built of granite. If you want accuracy, he's accurate. He has been under the microscope since high school. Plus, 6 touchdowns at the Sugar Bowl. He has the big game moxie. But I don't know. But sorry for the reference, guys. But Coach H, doesn't Justin Fields sort of remind you of a Bo Callahan just because of the way he tumbled out of the conversation?
Here's the thing. If you want to run parallels, we're going pop culture. Bo Callahan, nobody went to his party. Simple as that. Justin Fields, he was the party. Everybody loves this guy. From high school to college, he was the party. Never spoke. Body of a blacksmith, hands of a surgeon. Precision. I want to go back to what Steven said. This league, if you're not Tom Brady, you should be a precision passer. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't a precision passer. If you're going to hang back on that pocket, you should be a precise, concise, quick passer like Tom Brady. If you can't do that, you should have wheels for days. So if we're looking at QB, it's a done deal. If we ask, it's a consensus when it comes to the three of us. It's Justin Fields. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan is thinking, but of course he chose Kirk Cousins over Robert Griffin. Robert Griffin is helping.
All right, so Justin Fields it is at number 3, hopefully, though. But the writer in me still wants a good story. And I think, not because of talent, okay? Not because of him as a quarterback. But if I were to write a good sports story, it would be Trey Lance. Just because of he comes from a town of 13,000 in Minnesota.
Yes, and that is how the Niners botched the draft. Simple as that. I am not a believer. I am not a believer. Zach Wilson.
Just if I were to write it. Okay. But anyway, going from QB to another skill position over here, we have 3 alpha ballers at the wide receiver position. Same question for you guys. Jaylen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith. Steven, who doesn't belong and why?
Oh, they all belong. The only person I kind of wonder is maybe Jaylen Waddle, because I feel like he's more of just a one-trick pony. Mm-hmm. He's fast. You know, a lot of the comparisons say he's a Tyreek Hill. He was a top 40 overall recruit coming out of high school. And the thing is, he makes plays on offense. He makes plays on the special team. So I guess the value is there. I don't know if you would want to take him in the top 10, though. Maybe later in the first round. He has a bit of a smaller frame, but the athleticism, I think that's the one thing that wows you. The speed, once he gets the ball in his hands, if he has a little space, that could be it. Because you look at some of the stats, 11 of his 20 career touchdowns, they went for 50 plus yards. So once he has the ball in his hands, like he's not going to go down in 5 or 10 yards. He's looking for a touchdown. He's looking to go all the way. But again, that smaller frame, once you get in the NFL, these big guys, they're going to put their hands into you. You know, you're going to get that press coverage. So it's really about how he adjusts. For me, again, Jaylen Waddle, great talent. He's probably just the odd man out. But all of them are, when you talk about Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, they all have the pedigrees. They deserve to be picked in the first round. I think we're just kind of like, we're nitpicking, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Steven, Jaylen Waddle pala. You talked about Jaylen Waddle. Jaylen Waddle, yes. Okay. His measurables are around my size, actually. 5'10", 185. But Nick Saban compares not his stature, not his physical stature, but Jaylen Waddle's alpha dog personality to that of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Nick Saban said that, not me.
Yes.
But
I can compare myself to that. I can say that. Some of my coaches said that. We've seen... it's all about measurables for them. We've seen this. John Ross, Henry Ruggs, the past few drafts.
Tavon Austin.
Yeah, Tavon Austin at number 9. We've seen speedy guys who really burn rubber. And that's what they do. But again, 3 things. Can you get off the press? Number 2, can you get off your brakes? And number 3, can you catch in contact? Those 3 things are the most important things for a wide receiver. Lo and behold, the best first-round draft pick in the past 10 years at wide receiver, Mike Evans. 6'5", 230 pounds, can get off the press, does not run a 4.4, 4.3, but gets the job done. Different type of player, but if you're looking at that way, if you want speed, yes, you can get speed. But again, if you have the choice, Jamar Chase, 20 touchdowns on his final college year before opting out. Devontae Smith, we need ballers. We don't need bodybuilders. So it's simple as that.
True.
That's for me. That's my personal take on that.
The curious thing about this, though, can you imagine just over a 2-year period? We're talking 2019 to 2021. There's a possibility of us having 4 Alabama receivers picked in the top 15.
Oh, yeah.
Henry Ruggs.
And they were in one spot.
Waddle and Smith. So, wow, Alabama. But if you guys were gonna ask me about my the guy I'll single out from this trio, it would be Jamar Chase. This is basically connected to our next question, but I just wanna put it out there. No, the Bengals. They don't see themselves as a conservative sort of team. They always like to be an explosive offense. Take it back to the mid 2000s. TJ Hushmanzadi and Chad Ochocinco. You know what? And they saw the tape from 2 years ago. LSU, Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. What did that result to? 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns. No doubt, guys, no doubt. Joe Burrow has mentioned it to the front office. I kind of like my old college buddy to be on this team. If we went back like a month ago, the sure pick would be Pinay Sewell for to protect Joe Burrow. But I guess now you could put wide receiver, on their big board as well. You just can't discount that connection from Burrow to Chase. But anyways, so moving on now to number 4. Right, in connection again with our previous question. So projected consecutive picks. Projected. Public consensus says number 4, Florida tight end Kyle Pitts to Atlanta. Number 5, Oregon offensive tackle Pinay Sewell to the Bengals. Now, eto, Coach H, this is a question for you. All right. The Falcons are now open to taking calls for Julio Jones, and I'm sensing a rebuild might be coming. Diba? Kasi if you get another weapon in the name of Kyle Pitts for Matt Ryan, that means you invest heavily in Matt Ryan for the next 2 to 3 years, diba?
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
okay, you put Kyle Pitts there, you pair him with Calvin Ridley, that sort of thing. Maybe it works well for the offense. But I did some research. Did you know that the last Pro Bowl tight end to be taken in the first round, we have to go back to 2007. Greg Olsen was picked by the Bears. First round, 31st overall, 2007 draft. I'll name you Hall of Fame potential tight ends, huh? Gronk, New England, second round, 2010. Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs, third round, 2013. Kittle, Niners, fifth round, 2017. Which brings me to this, Coach H. I think Kyle Pitts is an amazing receiver, but he is not a tight end.
Not a tight end. The number one thing for a tight end to do. You guys knew this. I sent you the videos. I've been drumming on the beat. The number one thing for a tight end is you should be able to be a key blocker on the run game. Anything happens, you get the lead. The wide receivers are there. The bells and whistles would always be there, but at the end of the day, it's all about controlling the trenches. You need to block. You not only need to be a willing blocker, you need to sacrifice some of the catches for the betterment of the squad. I mean, Kyle Pitts is hyper athletic. We've seen him as long as lanky. He could catch. The catch radius is crazy, but you haven't seen him really willingly block and be a key part of the run play. Coach Dan Mullen is not a known running coach, and hopefully he might be talking about Kyle Pitts. He might be a better blocker in the pros, but I mean, I play the position. You should be willing to bang heads. I mean, you should be willing to just bang your helmet on somebody's head and just take his soul, so to speak. So if you're looking at talent, of course, Kyle Pitts is right up there. Catching the highlight plays, he would put people in seats. It's as simple as that. That's what they look at. But if you want to build a winning team, I mean, I'm iffy on him. I'm more of a Jamar Chase, Pinay Sewell guy on that thing.
Right. Because if you say, okay, a star tight end is more valuable
Nakita nyo
than
na
a
yan!
star
Nakita nyo
receiver.
na yan! Lalo na kayong dalawa, nakita nyo na yan. Who was the last ultra-athletic, highly touted tight end to be drafted so high in the first round in the NFL draft?
Gates?
Vernon Davis.
Guy's a freak. He was Kyle Pitts before Kyle Pitts. This guy looked like a semi-truck when he was in high school. Ran track, did basketball, was a superstar in Maryland. What happened? He was a receiver, but he was a liability in the run. And that's very generous when you say he's a liability. Wasn't a winning blocker. I can see that on Kyle Pitts. I haven't seen him on the trenches on the 3-point stance. He is used as an H receiver. He is more of a slot guy. If they put him on the line, he just chip blocks and then he runs his route. Simple as that.
So, Steven, the risk here is Atlanta just might draft Kyle Pitts too high and at the wrong position, right?
Well, I mean, I defer to Coach. This is his position. This is his expertise. And I agree with the Vernon Davis comparison. When Vernon Davis came into the league, I feel like he had to learn how to block because it wasn't a part of his game. Let's say Atlanta drafts Kyle Pitts at number 4. They're going to have to adjust how they use him to get the most out of him. You're not going to use him as a blocker. You're not going to use him in the run game. If he's out on the field, he's going to be out there to catch the ball. And you're going to have to deal with that adjustment period of teaching him how to block. Because I think, like, when it comes to blocking, it's about desire. We talked about it in our chat room. You have to want to do it. And I think right now, Kyle Pitts, again, he is a pass catcher. I mean, he's pretty good at it, but I don't know. Maybe a lot of people say that it's not correct to possibly name him as a tight end. He's just a pass catcher. That's what he does. Because tight ends do everything.
That's what they said with Jimmy Graham, diba?
Yeah.
He was more of a wide receiver than a tight end. He was more of an H receiver. And again, the salaries and all those stuff. Of course, he wants to be labeled as a wide receiver. So we'll see how that will fare. But I prefer to pick another tight end. But on this value pick, I would trade down for the Falcons, even if they want to rebuild. Or they could use this if the Niners pass off Justin Fields. He's a local boy. He grew up in Georgia. Supposed to play in the University of Georgia. Could be a guy that could learn a lot from Matt Ryan throughout the rebuild. And then once Matt Ryan moves on, could be the next guy.
Right. Okay, so moving now to the Pinay Sewell pick. Steven, okay, given what I said about the success of that Burrow to Jamar Chase partnership, is Pinay Sewell still a lock for the Cincinnati Bengals? Or is perhaps the Bengals front office going to say, you know what, protect Burrow or give him a weapon who he's known to be successful with, diba? So parang what are you gonna put more weight on?
If it was up to me making the choice, it's a difficult choice to make because you want to surround Burrow with weapons while he's young, get that the chemistry going, and give him a better chance of succeeding. But I'm also, if this was me making the choice, and you see Pinay Sewell, this is a talent that you don't see every draft. He's only 20 years old, so he's got room to grow, room to mature. And you see the reports, he's a young guy, but he's one of the leaders on his team. And it's not too many times that you watch highlights of offensive linemen and you go, wow, that's an athlete. Wow, he moves. So, and I think coach would agree, you build the offensive line before you start touching other things because you do want to protect Burrow. This is your number 1 overall pick. We already saw it last season running for his life. And what happened? He got injured. I think he tore his ACL. And, you don't want that happening to your quarterback. You invest a lot of money. You invest high draft picks in them. So you have to protect them. If it was up to me, I don't think it's the sexy pick, but I would go Pinay Sewell. You want to protect Burrow, protect his left side. Don't have to worry about it for the next 10 to 12 years. And you move forward.
Yeah. Sabi nga ni Tito Marts, di ba? Pag meron siyang anak na 6'6", 6'7",
Left tackle. Do not play anywhere else. Just eat and learn how to protect your friends. Left tackle. But kidding aside, you want your best investment to be protected. We've seen this with transcendent talents. Tom Brady was well protected last year. He has been playing for one of the best offensive line coaches in Dante Scarnecchia in New England. The only time that you would lose your quarterback is either through injury or the yips. If you can negate one of that gives you a 50% chance of being successful. And you can't stress it enough. This is a major knee injury. It's an ACL tear. It might be 4 to 6 months right now, but again, the mental toll is right there. Of course, you want your wide receiver, but you can't throw the ball if you're on your back. It's simple as that. And you are seeing one of the guys that is nimble on his feet, very young, very coachable, and is a willing blocker. If you're playing that position, if you're playing left tackle, you want to protect people, and he arguably one of the best offensive line talents to come out in the past few years.
All right. So,
and fun fact, apparently football is in his blood. His brother played college football at Nevada. His brother Nepi also plays for Utah. His younger brother also plays for Oregon, and he had 2 uncles in the NFL. Wow. Isaac Sopoaga, who played for the 49ers for a couple of years at nose tackle, and Richard Brown. So I don't know what you think about that, having family, but it's in their blood. They play football.
They have that build, the Samoan build.
Yeah.
When you see him and his brother train, there's a lot of videos online about it. I mean, this guy could move. He could move. He would take your soul and smile. I would love this guy. I would love to watch this guy.
Basta, Coach H, kain tayo malakas, lakad tayo pa atras.
Oh!
Alright.
Tito Nico, lagi kang naka-spot down and always remember, availability is your best ability.
Okay, so before we close out our final question, all right, so we'll move forward with our final question before going to our fan and listener comments. Okay, so there are teams projected to take a defender a bit towards the middle and early tens of the draft. So number 9, the Broncos. Number 10, the Cowboys. Number 11, the Giants. And number 12, the Eagles. So I listed some names, some top names. I don't know. It can vary depending on your choice. I listed some top names whom I got purpose for a defense. So cornerback, I have Patrick Surtain of Alabama. My defensive end would be Quitty of Michigan. My linebacker would be Mika Parsons from Penn State. But, sige, Coach H, who would be your first defender off the board here? Like, which team do you see taking a defender?
Well, the smartest pick would be Mika Parsons. This guy plays a joker linebacker. He can play coverage. He could rush the passer. He could be a run gap stopper. But this is a passing league. You want production. You want guys that can play man-to-man, play zone, can put his hands on you and assault you on that line of scrimmage. I like Patrick Surtain the second as the first pick to be at what? Number 10? The Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, 11 actually. Oh, yeah, 10. Sorry.
10. 6'1", Patrick Surtain.
Yeah. And just to touch upon what you said, no, Coach H, Dallas gave up, get this, 29.6 points per game last year. And they allowed 34 touchdown passes over the previous 5 years on average.
Para palang yung depensa namin to. Para palang yung depensa namin.
That's
Oh my God.
23 touchdowns given up per season. You protect your passing. You protect your passing game. I mean, Patrick Surtain, slam dunk pick for the Cowboys.
They're having trouble with their secondary. I mean, you got your front seven, you got your two monster linebackers in Leighton Vander Esch and what's his name? Jaylen Jones, the guy who blew out his knee from
Jaylen Smith.
Smith. So you have those two guys to control that middle of the field. So you need your dogs on the outside.
Although Patrick Surtain daw, because he's a bigger guy, diba? He's around 6'2", long-armed corner. So he's not that good, let's say, in covering one-on-one, a Henry Ruggs or a Tyreek Hill. He's not the type of guy. He's more of a Richard Sherman. I'll be physical with you at the line. I'll pressure you there, and then I'll sort of muscle you out of the way for you to have a difficult time catching. But Patrick Surtain.
How many all pros has Richard Sherman have? How many guys have and for a good part of 3 to 4 years till he was with the Niners, they didn't want to throw at this space. They just didn't want to throw at this space. So of course I'm impartial to cornerbacks because it's one of the positions that I love. One of my best friends play quarterback, and I love guys who can knock people down.
Hell yeah. All right, so Steven, who do you like here? Aside from Mika Parsons, okay, Broncos, Giants, and Eagles. Which defender do you think fits where?
Looking at the draft order, obviously, I'm sure there's going to be a trade. It's going to mix up the whole order. But if I'm looking at it how it stands right now, yeah, I also agree. I think the Dallas Cowboys need to fix their their defense, because their offense has been doing the work. And I saw a post. It was funny. It's a meme. It showed the Dallas Cowboys offense, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, all the receivers. It said, who is going to stop this offense? And someone commented, the Cowboys defense is going to stop this offense because they can't stop anybody. I agree. But if anything, I think maybe they might want to go in a different direction. I like Khalid Farley as possibly the first cornerback to go off. Little fun fact, he actually played quarterback in high school. He wanted to start as a wide receiver. He switched over to defense. So I really think, having those different positions gives you a lot more insight to the game. He's also a big cornerback, 6'2", and he's fast. He runs a good 40. He can keep up with these wide receivers. Even started a lot of games as a freshman, so he has the experience. For me, if I were to pick the first player as a defensive player to come off the board, it's either him or possibly Mika Parsons. The NFL again it's all about these hybrids. With Mika Parsons, he's this. It's funny. Linebackers back in the day, they're 6'4", 250, 260. Now they're like 6'3", 220, 230. They have to be able to run all over the field, cover tight ends, sometimes cover wide receivers. So I feel one of those two. I know it's kind of a cheating answer, but it's either Mika Parsons or I would go Caleb Farley as the first defensive player.
Yeah,
Another fun fact: Caleb Farley, 2 back surgeries.
Yun, yeah.
That's what I mean. If you're looking at production and the measurables, he is the top guy. He and Patrick Surtain.
Yeah. Bit of a risky pick.
The health risk is right there, but I agree. He could just lock people down. I love lockdown corners.
Yeah, before the injuries, possibly a top 10 pick, but I'm also kind of worried too.
Top 5. He was a lot like some of the best cornerbacks that came out the past few years.
Same thing can also be said for defensive end Jaylen Phillips of Miami. Him taking a year out or so just to recover from injuries. I think he also had some concussion issues. So again, by talent alone, Jaylen Phillips for the D-end position, Caleb Farley for the corner position. Just by talent alone, they would be top.
Measurables. Jaylen Phillips. Oh my God! Did you see that kid move? Did you see how he bent on every turn? This guy. I mean, I don't know if it was his cleats or that he could just bend his ankles in those ways. I mean, you can't be 260, 270 pounds, moving that fast, going around and bending on cones. I mean, the cones are not moving, but I mean that was really something, a sight to behold.
Yeah, yun nga lang, injuries. That's another thing that GM.
Sleeper pick, Greg Rousseau. Everybody hating on that man. He gets in shape. He gets in better shape. He falls to one of these contending teams. He would be a problem.
6'7", 6'8", diba?
It's not fair, man. Mika Parsons, 4'3", 940. That's a linebacker. He's running as fast as cornerbacks.
Unbelievable. All right, so that wraps up our 5 burning questions for the draft. Guys, we'll go now to our viewers and listeners. I think they left off some comments for us. Ati Jen says, good afternoon, Ati Jen. Coach H, si Darwin Gonzalez. Shout out naman, Coach Hammer. Sabi niya dito.
Oh, Darwin, mag-practice ka naman. We could have played better defense if some of my guys were in shape, but most of my guys are not in shape. So you have 2 years to be in better shape. but of course, thank you for all those guys who are watching first. Our defense, always a big fan of you too. A lot of our guys, Niner fans.
Okay, so Jaime Mendihar, Steven, he sent us 50 stars. Thank you, Jaime, for supporting.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Jaime.
Appreciate it. Any help counts, really, especially now. But we're grateful for it. Coach H, Ben Afeni says, Justin Fields to the Patriots.
Yes! Big Ben, of course. I would love that. I would love Atlanta to trade down to the New England Patriots. But what I want the Patriots to do, pick Kyle Pitts, have 3 tight ends, and bust out anything, run everything. Everything looks like a goal line stand for them.
3 tight ends set.
Diba? I mean, how many? It's the same premise at what the Niners could do. But this time, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, all ran 4.6. Both of them ran 4.6 in their combine. 4.7, 4.6, they could run. But Kyle Pitts, put him right there as an H receiver or as a detached tight end, play him wide, whatever you want to play him. He would be an asset. He could be a minimal blocker, to say the least, on the run game and could still be maximized on that offense. But, of course, Justin Fields to the Patriots, I love that pick.
Right. So, Dags naman. Zach Wilson is equal to Mitch Trubisky. No, not that bad.
I have to agree on that. I would agree. Trey Lance, I am very, very hard to impress. I want to see production against the top competition. You can say so many things if you're playing against busters, but when the hunters get hunted, that's when we see what they really have in store and what's inside their toolbox.
Okay, so Darwin Gonzalez has a bold prediction. He says Matt Ryan will retire this year and the Falcons will take the best QB available. Okay.
I doubt that. I still see Matt Ryan being a productive quarterback for the next maybe 2 or 3 seasons. But quarterbacks are playing a lot longer.
It's going to be paid $28 million a year. I won't walk away from that.
And plus, I think if they cut him, they're going to have to pay about 50 to 60 million to buy him out. So he's going to stay there for a while. It's a bit of a money situation. And yeah, I mean, why address a quarterback situation when it's not a problem? They have other problems that they need to address on that defense. It's not Matt Ryan's fault.
And the possible departure of Julio Jones. So I think that's something to worry about.
Do you think he'll be traded after June 1? You think he'll be traded?
Never know.
Depends.
Who would need Julio Jones? Who would need Julio Jones?
The Packers. Green Bay.
They need any tight end. Amon-Ra St. Brown would be an upgrade.
I would love to see Julio in Green Bay.
Julio
Dangerous.
Goodness. I'm shaking my head.
And last but not the least, Bag says, Coach, well, I'm the best corner in the game. Don't you ever talk about me.
Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman. And wonderful. First, if you're talking about cornerbacks, there are a lot on the draft board. J.C. Horn, Asante Samuel Jr., Farley. But I think this is a deep pass for the offensive line.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched about Slater, Jenkins, all of those bad boys from Alabama. It's a very deep draft for the offensive line and quality. Alex Leatherwood is there, so a lot of quality guys to be picked on. And I'm excited for Friday, Manila time.
Yep, we are all.
Tayo on Friday, I'm sure.
Steven, just to end, Ben Afani responded to your Julio to the Packers comment. So he says, Patriots need Julio Jones.
The Patriots need everyone. They need everyone.
Can they afford Julio Jones? I don't think they would make that big of a splash. They already did in free agency. I don't know if they have enough capital to do that. They went out, they got 2 of the best tight ends on the market. They signed a couple of receivers. So I don't know if they have enough to go out after Julio Jones. It depends on what they do with this draft pick.
And okay, so we got more comments coming in. So Darren Dario says, talking about the O-line, I see you, Coach H. Nice.
Yeah, I love the big uglies.
And okay, I love Dags' comment. Cowboys will trade for Kyle Pitts and will continue to suck on defense. If Jerry wants the Kyle Pitts, he gonna get the Kyle Pitts.
Basically, just forget defense. All out offense. The defense is the good offense.
Because they missed out on Dallas Goedert, diba? They really wanted Dallas Goedert during that draft, and the Eagles drafted before them. It was one pick before they were able to at least have a swinging chance at getting Dallas Goedert. So we'll see. But Zach Ertz is a free agent until he gets to the Jaguars. One of the Titans that you could so speed check.
I guess that's it for our NFL draft review. The one sitting NFL draft preview for us. So nothing left for us to do. But again, watch the draft on Friday morning, Manila time, 8 a.m. It's going to be big. Thank you again, Coach H, SS Steven Silva, for our Tailgate Tropa reunion after a couple of months. Imagine that. Again, I also want to thank all our greeters and commenters. We love to hear from you guys. And thank you again for sending in your thoughts and insights. Steven, Coach H, before we end, shout-outs and greetings. Go ahead.
Ikaw, Coach, go first.
No, all my teammates for the Wolves, stop being fat. We have enough guys. And the offensive and defensive line, be fast, be strong, be healthy, everyone. Sa lahat ng mga supporters ng Radyo Katipunan, maraming salamat sa inyo. And you guys stay safe, you guys stay healthy. My girls, Nina and Marla, I love you guys. Stay safe, guys.
Yun.
Steven.
I'm so happy to see you guys again. This is so fun. I miss you guys. Hope you guys are staying safe. To everyone listening, thank you. Also, shout out to Jaime who commented. He's from our newbies batch for the broadcasting. Shout out to you for giving us those stars. And also shout out to my second favorite team from San Francisco.
Yeah,
currently
go
in
Giants.
first place, tied in first place, the San Francisco Giants. It won't last though. I know it won't last.
Go Dodgers.
I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying, dude. 15-9. This is not gonna last. So go Giants.
All right, guys. Peace. Thank you so much. Ingat tayo lahat. See you again soon.
See you. Stay
Ingat,
best,
guys.
boys.
Stay safe.
All right, guys.
Welcome to the Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Radyo